There we go. Hi, Susie. How are you? Good morning, Donna. And W, good to see you. And you too, Judith. This morning, we are going to work with the Stepping Out collection, and it has two different sets of templates. We're going to use the Yin and Yang collection. And I've got some different ways of doing it today, but don't I always have some different ways of doing it. So let's take a look at our collection to see where we're starting off. Okay, here is the instructions that come with it. Love this center design. I'm going to show you what I did with it. And it comes with 5 different sizes. Let me see. I got to pull this up just a little bit for you guys, okay? There we go. Hi, Pam. Good morning. Good morning, Linda. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inch, 2.5, and 3 inch. Now, that is such a big range of sizes. And the reason that I love the big range of sizes is we can do a big range of fun with it. I'm impressed actually with the instructions. The instructions are very nicely written out in the book. We're going to show you that you could do 2 different S curves. That's what I like to call them, S curves. And they will look like this. Now, what's cool about this one is you also can come in and reverse it, and it gives you one more design. And then, of course, this reminds me of a cat's eye marble. When I was a kid, everybody used to want the cat's eye marbles. So I'm going to show you some real life templates. Look at how big this is. This is insane. This is our 3 inch, 2.5 inch, 2 inch, 1.5 inch, and 1 inch. And we're going to use, I think, pretty much all of the sizes this morning. Here's what I wanted to show you guys. I'm not sure if was it you all that we did the artisan curves last week, or was it the other class? I don't remember if it was Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. Either way, what we did was we used the oval marquee, the artisan curves, I'm sorry, and we came up with this kind of a frame type thing. And so, of course, I want to use up my fabric if I can. So what I did was I put this part, we're going to take the rest of this out. Look at the cool center that makes. It's a center motif that is absolutely beautiful with those artisan curves. We've got some more people. Good morning, Christina. Good to see you. Evelyn's here. Mary Lou's here. Teresa's here. Pam is here. Oh my goodness. Christina's here from Sweden. Susie from San Antonio. Brenda, good morning from wonderful North Carolina. Awesome. Awesome. And Katrina, Jenny is here. Matt Hilda is here from Australia. Lois, Courtney. And it was last Wednesday that we did these. Perfect. Thank you, Jenny, for remembering. I've got a great memory. It's just really short. Yes, Mary Lalonde Nelson. Mary, you can use these on a long arm or a sweet 16. Oh, I guess Deb asked that question. I'm sorry, Deb. Yeah. I bought them for my high shank Janome. You should be able to, but just to let you know, So Steady does make the templates in 3 heights. Excuse me. We make them in low shank, we make them in high shank, and we do make them in long arm, with the long arm being a full 1/4 inch. Margaret, it is 11 in Melbourne, Australia tonight. Well, I appreciate you staying up and meeting with us here. So anyway, let's go back here. And what I was saying is I put this in and I thought, what a beautiful addition to the center of our artisan curves. And then I'm going to show you a motif that kind of takes after this. And this is what we're going to start with this morning. Okay. We'll get all of that out of the way. I want to pull in my new fabric. Now remember, I don't have a moderator this morning, so I will try to make sure that I get to all of the questions. I am going to pull out 3 different templates. I think 4 might be too small, or this square may be too small for 4. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and draw my fabric up in the center of my block. Margaret okay, Deb, yes, Deb, Margaret, 11 p.m. here in Australia, yep, Aura, nice to see you, and Diane, greetings from Massachusetts. Okay, gonna go ahead and put my needle down and bring it back up and pull my bobbin thread up. And when I'm working with things like this, you're never quite sure what that what color that bobbin thread is going to be. It is a great way to use up our bobbins. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to line my template up all along my vertical center line. Okay, take a couple stitches there, and then we're going to make our circle. Now the key, everybody says, how do you get such even stitches? I think it comes with practice. It really does. Um, you also have to be aware that if you're slowing your hands down, you've got to slow your machine down. Vice versa. If you're speeding your hands up, you have to speed up your machine a little bit. I am jealous of all you that have that beautiful M17 Continental, I think it is, with the stitch regulator on it. But alas, sadly, I can't afford it. Oh, but it's okay. I enjoy actually my favorite machine for ruler foot or for ruler quilting is my 301. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the separator and we can go on either side of this. If we go on this side, what it's going to show us is this design right here. Make sure you can see that well. Okay, but I want this design. So I'm going to go to the right side of the template. And it's a good idea to play with it a few times. Go ahead, get yourself a piece of a practice square. It's not a hard arc to do. Just take your time and you'll see that it meets right back up. Now we're going to go back to center. Okay. And what I love about this is once we get into the template, we have a needle channel. I love needle channels. I really do. I would love to be able to buy all new templates with needle channels, but I don't think my husband would be too excited about that. So what I'm doing is I'm just going over to the opposite side of my circle here, and we're going to put another circle in. And around we go. And come back up to that center vertical line. That's important. Hi, Terry. Good morning. It's important that we hit that center vertical line because when we're going to come and do this portion of the template, we want it to start in the correct orientation. So when I'm lining up my vertical center, I'm lining it up all the way back here as well as here and here. So I'm trying to get the entire template, not just the section I'm working on. I hope that makes sense. Excuse me, I needed some caffeine there. I need to do that every now and again in the morning. Okay, again, I'm going to go around hugging the right side. We'll show you some of the left side too. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to come out until I hit that vertical center. And I'm going to stop right there because I want to show you another design. And it's easier to show you while we're at that space. Now you can see I haven't switched out the tape yet on these templates. Oh goodness, but I'm going to have to after that. There we go. I'm going to take that one out, set it aside. Now I'm taking my neck size. This particular size is a 2-inch. So now I'm going to take out my 1.5 inch. I'm going to remove my gate and slip that on. And you're probably going, what in the world can she do with this, right? Okay, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to come halfway around and stop. Okay? It doesn't matter whether it's on the right or the left. We're just going to go halfway around and we're going to stop. Okay, now we're going to take this template off. And we're going to put our baby template, our 1/2 inch, or our 1 inch, I'm sorry, our 1 inch stepping out template. Yin and yang. Lining up my vertical center. Now what you're going to notice is this one is too small to come all the way in and cross that vertical center. Good morning, Kay. Thank you for joining us. Grab your coffee, have a seat. We're just going to have some fun this morning. So what I'm going to do is I am going to produce my entire circle. Stop on my vertical center. Now I'm going to move down so I can put my divider in there. Again, I'm lining up all the way back here to make sure. So I'm going to take my 1 stitch in place. Now this one I'm going to slow down a little bit on. And the reasoning behind it, it's got kind of a sharp turn right here when you get to that first go around. And we're going to stop. Stop where we started. I'm going to go ahead and slip this one off. Is this a lot of slipping on and off templates? Yes, it is. So glad you asked. Good morning, Carol. Is it going to be worth it? Yeah, I think absolutely it's going to be worth it. So now we're going to come back. Now we've got our 2-inch back in, and again, we're lining everything up all the way through the template. And no, I'm going to go ahead and finish that. I'm sorry. You could come in and do the divider first, but I think it's easier to do the circle first, just in case you're a tad bit off, but you should not be. Okay, around we go. Remember, when we're doing circles, we want to make sure that we're keeping our stitch length a little shorter. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead, slip into the divider and come down on the right and come back. And it looks like I need to make one little tiny adjustment here. A lot of times what happens when we're going out and back in, like with our Starry Nights, our fabric is kind of shrinking in a little bit. So it's okay to go ahead and make those little adjustments. Okay, it's sometimes just necessary. It's not going to hurt a thing. You'll be fine. Now we're going to come down, go around, and yep, we're going to hit that pretty close. I think it's going to look just fine. And we're going to come back. This is where you want to take your time. This is where paying attention to details will really pay off for you. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to remove and replace. And we're going back to our 2-inch. And I'm going to go ahead and put the gate back in place. I'm lining everything up. I want to make sure that I'm lined up. Now, you could also do this part. Good morning, Patsy. Nice to see you. You can also take your spacing gauge and you will see that you are correctly lined up here. You know, being a suspenders and belt kind of girl, I do have a tendency sometimes to do that. Okay, so my whole circle is in, but what I want to do is I want to travel over the dividing line there. And let's see if we need to make an adjustment. I don't believe we do. Okay, here we go. Back up again over it. And I guess there we go. Just a little bit of an adjustment had to be made there. Take your time. Remember that fabric has shrunk up just a little bit, so it might require an adjustment or two. If you need to, that's fine. And now I am back at the center of my block. Gonna go ahead and take that off. Isn't that cute? I thought to myself, that was really adorable. You could go all the way out. You could put a bigger template here and actually have another row of marbles coming out. I thought that was just so cute. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to finish off this center motif. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that next. There we go. Marcy, good morning. Houston, almost recovered. I am so glad because you guys really had it pretty tough down there. I feel for you. I really do. Okay, so again, we're going to line that up. It's very important. And I think some of us probably, I know myself when I first started, I kind of forget to come back here and check to make sure that I'm lined up back here. But I will tell you that this line here is just as important as this line here. Now, in this one, we're working with the circle, so you might be able to get away with a little more. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and stitch that circle in. Stitching this fast is extremely foreign to me. Anyone who knows me, and I just got caught up there. What did I do? There we go. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and we're going to make our separator. There we go. Now remember, we have two different ways we can go. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do these two on the left side to show you the difference that we have in these two. So I'm going to take my one stitch in place, and you'll see how it follows along beautiful. And it comes right down. Isn't that cool? I think that is so pretty. But we're going to go one step further because for me, there is no such thing as too much. And this is where you will want to have staple tape on both sides of your template. I don't have it. I'm not going to take the time to make you guys sit and watch me put staple tape on my template. We're just going to pray that it doesn't move on me. Okay? So now we're going to come, I flipped my template. We're going to come again on the outside. And I hit a little something there. I'm not really sure what that is. And come down and come back up to the center. Look at that cute little crossover it makes. Isn't that awesome? And we're going to come back to the center. Now, didn't that turn out? Isn't that cute? It's a whole nother motif for us. And if we took a little 2-inch curly Q in there, that would be absolutely adorable. Carla, you have 20-degree temperature drop out in Oklahoma, but you're enjoying you'll notice I have a sweater on this morning. Yeah, I left all my doors or windows open last night, and the temperature dropped a little bit, but you know what? I'm putting a sweater on. I'm not closing the windows because I know what's gonna happen later today. It's gonna get up there, not as high as it's been, thank goodness. It's nice to have a little reprieve from the heat. Okay. Oops, gotta put this on right. So now I'm going to make my 4th rotation of my circle in the center. I'm not sure what's happening there. I think what I'll do to avoid it in the future is I'm just going to rotate my block a little bit. And back here, we're just going to rotate it. We're going to come into our center. And again, I'm going to come out on the outside. You know what? I've got a little tiny burr here on my template. Of all the templates I have, this is the first time I've ever had a little burr on my template. Let me show you how I'm going to take care of that, okay? I'm just going to get a very fine nail file and very carefully only touch the burr. There we go. That's all it needed. I just took a few swipes with that nail file. It is gone. Did it affect my design? Not at all. It really did not. Okay, so we're going to line up again. Again, we're going to go to that outside, to the left. Come down. And come back up. And stop in the center. Whoops, there we go. I'm going to come and flip my template, and I don't even need to put the gate back in because I'm not using that part of the template for this design. I'm using this part. So here we go. When you take these off though, like I just did, make sure you put them in a safe place. I like to sometimes just tape it just like that, right to my machine, and then I don't get it lost. Or emery cloth would do the same thing. You're absolutely right. Brenda, thank you. Yeah, emery cloth would do the same. I don't think many of us use that anymore. Okay, so here we go. We're going to come again out the right side. And come right back up. And we're going to again stop at the center. Okay, so now we're going to take this out. Didn't that turn out nice? That is just a unique and different way of doing things. And I just love doing things weird. That's just me. Oh, thank my mother for that. Okay. You know what? We could come out with the smaller piece here. Let's do it. Let's do it. And we could end up with a cross. Okay. Hopefully, no one is offended by me making a cross. Please don't be. It, it's a shape. Okay. So here I'm going to go ahead and I am going to bring my thread up right where this circle crosses over that horizontal center line, which is now vertical because I've changed the orientation of my template and my block. I'm sorry, my quilt block. Here we go. Okay, we're going to put this down and we're only going to make one rotation with this. And I'm going to Okay, Marcy says these corners are difficult. She struggles with the inside corners with the stars from Starry Night also. Carol, thank you. You like this design. I do too, really. Marcy, what I'm going to show you where I slow down, and that hopefully will help you. When I first got the Starry Nights, of course, we had it before they were released, because we needed to come up with our projects and such. And when I first got my templates, I noticed I was falling off of them quite often. But after a little bit of practice and trying different methods, I found a way to keep it so that I no longer fell off of those. And this particular separator right here this is basically the same area as the Starry Nights. So I'll show you how I was able to remedy that for myself. Okay, now let's go ahead and we're going to finish up this circle. And come up and stop where we started it. Okay? Now again, I'm this time going to use this side, okay, right here. Because Marcy has this problem and I want to help her solve it if possible. We're lining up right back here on our crosshair line. We're going to come down the right side this time. So what I did was I would get going, I would slow way down, which means I'm slowing my machine down and slowing my hand down. And you see how I kind of twist my fabric? That is what I found to be the key. Slowing down and twisting that fabric just a little bit. We're going to go back up now. And again, keep writing on that template right about here. This is where it starts, and it's the same on the stars. And I like to just twist that fabric a little bit because I can see better and I think I can control it better. So that's how I got over falling off of the stars. Okay? Marcy, I hope that helps. Please try it. Susie, you try it as well because you said you still fall off the stars. Please let me know if that helps you. And if you still have problems, please get a hold of me. We can work together and figure that out, okay? Definitely. All right, I'm done on this side. Remember, this is practice, so I am not burying threads or anything fancy like that. And we're going to put another one here. So I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, put my gate back in first and pull this up. I've never done a complete motif in these, and I think it's a good idea to once in a while just to show you that we have so many opportunities at our disposal with our templates. And our templates do more than one thing as a rule, okay? I know it's nice to go in and look at the designs in the instruction book, but take your paper, your pencil, your stitching line discs, and play with other ways that you can see to use them because there are, and it's so much fun. Okay, I'm going to take a little stitch in place there. Going to go all the way around. Circles are a fantastic way to work on stitch length. And the reason being is you're not going to fall off. It's a circle. So you're good to go. You're always going to stay in that same template. Okay, so here again, we're going to do this cliff area. And I'm going to take my time. You see I'm rotating it now this way, and then I'm going to rotate it back over a little bit. And the reason I'm doing that is because if I do fall, I'm going to be falling into this template right here, and that's where you want to be. Okay, so you won't be falling in a direction that you don't want to go in. Now, I could easily skip this step of coming back because we're done on this side, but I'm not going to. And the reason that I'm not going to is because all of my other dividers have a double line of stitching, and I want to be consistent. Okay, so we're going to take that off, and we're just going to cut those threads. We just have one more to do. Okay, off we go. We're going to put one up here, and we can go ahead and draw our thread up before we get lined up. Pull that all out. Whoops, I need to replace the tape on these. The cellophane tape doesn't seem to last very long. Okay, drop my needle. I'll hold my thread back. Take my first stitch in place. Remembering that this is a circle, I'm going to keep my stitches shorter. We want that circle to appear smoother, more rounded. There we go. Ending at the top again, going down. And again, we're going to use the right-hand side. And just make that little twist in your block. I hope that helps you, Marcy, and you too, Susie. And remember, we're not born with an innate ability to stitch templates. I wish we were. Okay, so there's my last one. We're just going to go ahead and trim those threads off. Oops, got it caught in the template there. And let's see what we did, okay? See if we were successful in this. There we go. There is our yin and yang cross. Hi, Janice. Nice to see you all the way from Pepperell, Massachusetts. Susie, I'm glad to hear you're going to give it a try. That it makes me happy. If you have any problems, get a hold of me. You guys like the cross. Isn't that cute? I think it turned out great. And what I like about it is you see it came here and the inside just kept going. So what that tells me is we can use our inside separators without using our outside circles. Let me show you that, okay? And that would be a great border. I'm going to set this aside for a minute, and we're going to get out another practice square. And yes, I have already worked on this, but it's okay. This is a practice square. I can work on it 100 times and it's not going to hurt anything. Now you can do this as large as you want or as small as you want. Here is our big 3-inch. And oh, I've got plenty of room. I am going to use the big one in here. And there we go. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to make an ongoing line, beautifully curved line like this without the circles. So let's see how that works. I got to be honest with you guys. Before I come on here in the morning and in the evening, you're right, Susie. Thank you. It does look like a Celtic cross. And I think that's kind of why I gravitated towards that, because my daughter is half Irish and she lives the Celtic very seriously. When I prepare for my Tuesday nights and Wednesday mornings, I sit down, I draw out stuff. I really do. I come up with, oh, this I think is going to be pretty. I'd like to show this. I'd like to show that. 98% of the time, I don't even show you what I drew out. we we come up with different things as we go along, and that's just me. I love to come up with different ideas. So quite honestly, sometimes you're not seeing what I intended to show you, and what you are seeing is kind of flying by the seat of my pants, so to speak. So when I do something and I make a mistake, it's an honest mistake. I didn't do that just to show you guys how something could be corrected. It's because I messed up. And I certainly have a habit of being able to mess up. So I'm glad that you guys take it the way you do, because you're so gracious to me and I appreciate that so much. I don't need to get down on myself, and we're just here having fun. I think that's awesome. Okay, so what I'm gonna do on this one is I'm going to take that really deep inside cat's eye marble side. That's what I call this side, the cat's eye marble. And I'm just going to get my stitches locked. And here again, this is the area where some people have trouble falling off. And you'll see it doesn't matter the size, I still tend to twist that fabric over just a little bit. So now I'm just going to move my template down. Let's get rid of this thread up here. I find that to be distracting to me. Okay, and again, moving my template down and just continuing. And here we go, remembering these are curves. Keep everything nice and smooth by keeping those stitches just a little bit shorter. I've got my needle down. I lucked out that time. I usually have to hand wheel it down because it doesn't have the needle up, needle down function. There we go again. So if you've got a nice wide sashing, I think this would just be beautiful in it. I really do. I'm going to get that out of the way there. Look at how perfectly this makes those curves. Love them. I absolutely love them. Let's do one more, and then I'm going to show you the other side, okay? Whoops. And that, what you just saw me do is why I put the stable tape here. It's to remind me to hold this area down. If we're just going around it, it's easy to get our foot underneath here. If we're holding it back here, you see how much that template pops up? We don't want that to happen. So we're going to hold it so that little protrusion stays down. And around we're going to go. There we are. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take this one out. Isn't that neat? I love it. Absolutely love it. I definitely could see a lot of uses for this. One other thing we could do is we could take and put a 1.5-inch spinifex in between each one. I think that would be just adorable. It definitely would be a lot of starting and stopping, but I think it'd be worth it. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to see if we can do it on this side and make an interesting shape with that. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it up here and pull my threads under my template. And I can't tell you why I like to do that. It's just a habit I got into. There we go. Now we're going to hold this the same way. Just going to take a couple stitches. Hi, Brenda, Michigander, love it. Hope it's a little warmer in the Michigan you're in. Okay, so we're just going to take a couple stitches and then I can get rid of that. So now we are going to come down the outside. This is the opposite side from what we just did. And yes, this is doable. However, it's going to look totally different, and it's going to be one this is definitely a directional, design, but it's cool. This would make great waves, guys. This would make awesome waves. Okay, just like this. And now we're gonna come. If I were to use it for waves, I would likely use a smaller template, but you could use this as an edge to edge, and look how fast it is going. You could use the other one that we did here as an edge to edge as well. And I will show you how we would stack the other one as an edge-to-edge design, okay? One more on here. There we go. There we go. And check this out. It's cool. Whoops, I need to cut that bobbin thread. I don't know, I always have problems remembering that. Okay, so this is cool. I like this one better for my taste, but that's okay. I got a piece of thread in there. This would make really awesome waves, I think. What would it Janice, I'm glad you brought that up because that's what I'm going to look at next, okay? Stitching both sides together. Good morning, Teresa. Happy to have you here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my template, and what you'll see I'm gonna do both of these, okay? Because yeah, we have enough time. You'll see that this is how I came down the first time. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna switch my template, but before I get started on that, because we're trying to make sure everything stays connected properly, I'm going to put staple tape on the opposite side, on the flip side. I've got it on the back, but I don't have it on the front, so we're gonna go ahead and do that now. It doesn't take a whole lot. I try very hard to make sure that my staple tape is not covering up the lines. Sometimes you can't help it, it's going to happen, but as long as you could see before and after where that line is, you should be fine. And up here, we'll do a couple right there and right there. Now, in this instance, you'll see that it does kind of cover up the end of where this goes. If I wanted to, and Donnell McAdams taught me this. If I want to extend that line, I could take just a little X-Acto knife or even a jackknife, and I could come in with the ruler and I could edge that out to the edge. I don't think it's necessary for me this time, but it might be something I wanna do in the future with a different design. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start by pulling up our thread. There we go. Well, I think we are. Come on, you. It's being shy this morning. Okay, or my thread isn't awake yet, one or the other, right? Okay, gonna put that down, and we're gonna line up. Now remember, we've got a lot of spaces, a lot of places that we can line up, but because my circle line is way up here at the top, actually outside of my fabric, I'm going to use this line and this line, okay? And here we go. Oh gosh, I hope this turns out as good as I think it will. Okay, oh, remember, we're moving on the inside of it this time. Oh, I kind of flattened that one off. I don't know how I managed that. And this is what I expected was going to happen, and I'm so glad it did because this is really cool, actually. This is a great way to do circles without having to travel on them. Because normally when we use our circle templates and we're going in a straight line, we have to travel on one side of them. But on these, we don't. How many of you felt that we would end up with circles? Just out of curiosity. Donna says, okay. Aura and Janice want me to flip them, which is what we're doing now. Whoops, I need to get you guys back in. And Donna said, I don't have this set. I wonder if I could use it with waves or arcs. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay. So several of you knew that this was going to come out as a circle. Some of you did not, so that's fine. But you know what? I really like this to make circles so that they look all the same. I mean, there's no backtracking on them, and I like the clean look that that gives us. So here is a new way for us to do circles in sashing, and it's not difficult. There we go. Love this. Now we're going to do the other one. Also, we're going to flip that one over and show you what that one will do. Awesome. Look at how clean those circles are. Lois saw them. Plus, you're getting 2 at a time. Yes, you are. Definitely. Okay, so now we did this one this way. So let's flip that over. I'm going to pull out my bobbin thread and we're going to do it the other way. I love the versatility of these templates. Absolutely love it. We can do so many things. And you know what? We're only limited by our imagination. And a lot of times we come up with things nobody else would think of, and that's okay. What's fun is sharing those things. I absolutely love it. I really encourage you guys post in the Westerly by Me Facebook page. We do moderate that page, and so we get to see things. We try and keep some of those riffraff spammers out of there. Okay, see what's going to happen here? And now we're going to move it down. This is going to be a little different, but again, a unique pattern. So let's line ourselves up. There we go. Now I can line my back line up as well. And off we go. Oh, you guys, I'm going to love this. I just can see it now. You see what's going to happen? And we're going to pull it down and do a couple more. Make sure we're lined up everywhere. And I have to keep repeating to myself, outside, use the outside, use the outside. uh, I've got room for 2 more here. So let's go ahead and finish these out. And one more. Are you excited to see how it looks? R already likes it. Yes, Donna, it is. It definitely is worth. She says that it's almost worth getting the set for the circles. I agree. Actually, I love this cleanness of only going over each side of the circle once. For those out there who are modern quilters, I just moved the template. Oh, not too bad. That would be a very clean line as well. And look at this, you guys. Isn't that awesome? Well, as soon as I let you see it, there we go. Check that out. Look at here. That's the other side. So we have a lot of things that we can do. Now, just out of curiosity, yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. This may work, this may not work, but you know what? I'll try anything once. I don't think this is going to work, but I want to try it. Because this is how we figure things out, right? And I like for you guys to see how maybe my brain works, because then you won't be afraid to try stuff out. And if you do it on paper, what is it? A piece of paper? Yeah, that's no big deal, right? So let's check. I am this time, no, that will not work. Okay. I was going to try to put this curve inside of this shape, but that will not work. So I'm not even going to mess with it. Okay. Sometimes that's what we need to see so that we can decide whether we're going to move forward or not. So that is that. And if I can find some empty space here. Yeah, I can find some empty space here. I want to show you very quickly one more thing before we leave. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a tag in the center here, which could be a chore because, oh, it actually went through nicely because I've got so much thread built up there. And put it back up. Beautiful. Came up right in the center. Now, what I want to show you is using our circles on quilts, and we're going to go, oh, my poor paper is all mangled up in there. That's not good. Okay, so I'm taking my circles on quilts, and I am going to start on reference line number 1, which is up here. Okay. I'm going to pull my bobbin thread up on reference line number 1. And now I'm just going to move that out of the way. Okay, there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to take my small, now this is my 1 inch, okay? Evelyn, yeah, I don't think the smaller one will work. Evelyn, Linda, and Aura all asked about that because I would then have to travel in a straight line. And it just didn't work the way I was hoping to see it work. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and let's put the gate in correctly. And I'm going to bring my circle down, line my center line up, hold my threads back, and we're going to make a circle. And what I want to do is I want to get rid of this thread right now. Using the small ones, I like getting rid of the thread right away because otherwise it does kind of get in the way. And I am going to go all the way around. Stopping here. I'm going to choose which way I want to make my divider, and I'm going to use the traditional way. Come back up. Oh, you guys, I just ran out of bobbin thread. Always happens at the worst time, doesn't it? It happened last night too. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, my slider, I love how easy it is to just pick it up, move it out of the way, and I have another bobbin sitting here waiting. It never takes long to replace these bobbins with this table because the table has the cutout here for getting to my bobbin and my feed dogs. So steady thought of everything when we're using our Singer 301s. I am so sorry. Just probably gave you all a headache hitting the camera that way. All right, let's pull that thread up. Make sure everything is copacetic. It's perfect. I'm going to go ahead and put it back in. Oh, I just flipped my template over the edge of my table. No worries. Okay, so we ran out there. So when you run out like that, I always come two stitches back and pull my bobbin thread up there. The reason that I like to do it that way is because I want to make sure that that bobbin thread and the top thread are kind of like woven in. You'll see I've got a little bit showing up here. When I'm finished, I'm going to go to the back and I'm going to pull that out, and the transition will be basically seamless. There we go. That didn't take long at all. Just going to put it down there. Now, the hardest part is going to be to line up my template because I was traveling. So let's see what I did here. Have I succeeded or not? Oh my golly, look at how cool that worked out. Okay, that was a fluke, you guys. I'm not that good. But it did work out beautifully. So we're going to take that off. I'm going to go ahead and cut these threads and get them out of our way. Now I am going to take my 12-inch Circles on Quilts, and this comes in set number 1. Okay, put that back on. And what I'm going to do is stitch to my next reference line. Okay, and we're going to make another one. As soon as I have my template, there we go. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead. We're going to put that template on again. I'm going to do this very quickly. And around we're going to come. Stop there. And I know I won't run out of bobbin thread this time, lining all of my center lines up. stop at the top again. Whoops, come up. There we go. Remove the template. And we're going to put our foot back down and stitch to the next reference line. So what I've done here is shown you a way that you can make a frame around a center motif. And in this particular case, we would have the frame around our cross, which would go like this, or which way, I'm not sure. Oh, no, I had it right this way. Yep. So it would go around the cross, and there it is. There's the frame that we can put in. Okay, no more questions. All right, so we're good to go. So I hope that you guys have liked this. I apologize for keeping you late. I tend to lose track of time when I'm doing this because I absolutely love doing it. And I love doing it with you. I mean, you guys are awesome. You're here, you're with me every week. I appreciate that so much. Not really sure yet what we're going to do next week. I'm going to pull some templates out. For you guys, I'm pulling random. Basically kind of, well, it's not real random. I'm kind of going backwards and forwards in the alphabet. For Tuesday evenings, of course, we do pull them each week from a basket. So Tuesday night, we're going to be doing Christmas in July, and it just happened this way. We pulled out the DMQ Christmas Bell, Holly, and Trees sampler. So we will be doing that. And of course, we're going to get to see you again Wednesday morning of next week. And I just, like I said, appreciate you guys being here. And Julie, hi. I didn't see you come in before. Rita, you either. If there's no other questions, we're going to go ahead and we're going to sign off for today. And I will be looking forward to seeing you either next Tuesday or Wednesday. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. These videos will remain on the 906 Quilting Services YouTube channel. And post your pictures in Westerly by Me Facebook page. We love to see them. So until we meet again, let's quilt.